Hello, welcome to the Excel Mixer Pro demo. So we'll start by opening an empty Excel file to demonstrate the capabilities of Excel Mixer Pro, which brings a brand new way to work with Excel files and charts. So to make a very short demo, I'll just put two numbers here, X and Y, with values of 1 and 2. And let me demonstrate you the first functionality of Excel Mixer Pro, which is that you can select cells in Excel, make new sliders, and you get a slider for each of the selected cells. Excel Mixer Pro gets automatically a label for the slider and a value, which here goes from -1 to +1. And as you see, I can move the slider and have the value changed automatically in Excel. The same, of course, applies to Y. Let's now make it a bit more complicated. We'll add a formula. So we'll create a surface with a formula of this, for example, this plus this. Here we are. And now with Excel Mixer Pro we can have very easily what we call a watch, which is actually a graph of the output of the cell, of the function. So for instance, now I can modify X and Y and see how the surface, the value of surface, changes. I can change Y also, of course, and see how it modifies the calculation. Now I can be interested, for example, in seeing what is the shape of the curve if I go from -1 to +1. So I can do it, but better, I can click here, go through the full range, and I'll see the shape of the curve when X goes from -1 to -2. I can do the same for Y and see the shape of the curve as Y goes from -2 to +2. What I can do now is select two sliders and make a graph. Now what we'll get is a 3D graph of the output. So we have a very nice way and very easy to get graphs of our formulas. In this graph, in this 3D graph, I can show the points if I wish. I can modify transparency. I can of course rotate it, change the height, and I see here two graphs which are actually the shape of the surface cut vertically and horizontally. I can move these and see what the exact shape of my surface is along each of the axes. I can also change the resolution, the number of points. So now we'll have a much more precise graph. What we can do also is add a third parameter. Let's say, call it distance. We put here 3. And now we'll just add this parameter here, and add a new slider for distance. As we see, the graph is rebuilt according to the value of distance. And what I can do now is make a graph with the 3 inputs selected here, and then we'll see how to make charts live. I can then change distance and see the effect of distance on the 3D shape. Of course, I can also select distance and X and see what the effect of Y is on the shape. And last, I can change X. I can make very nice looking graphs. If I put a high resolution, I get very nice color graphs of my surface, which I can use, for example, for reporting. I can export the graph, paste it in Excel or in any text processor or email, for example. Yeah. So let's now take a real life file. So I'll remove all. I'll just close this file, and I'll open my Black-Scholes file. So now I don't have any sliders, no watches. What I can do is select the area containing all my interesting data and click new sliders. I'll get a slider for each of my inputs. Excel Mixer Pro actually knows about cells and whether there should be sliders or watches depending on their content. It must be, of course, a number, and if it is the result of a formula, then it is a watch, of course, and if it's not, it's a slider. I've already configured the min and maxes of my sliders here. I've done it before, and Excel Mixer Pro remembers the configurations, so that you don't need each time you open an Excel file to reconfigure sliders. So now, for example, I can look at the graph of interest rate versus volatility, add new watches, and make a graph. And then I can see for each of my outputs a very nice looking graph of the value of Volga. I mean, all the Greeks are there, and it can be very interesting to look at them this way and study models in a brand new way and very easy way. I can add time to expiry, again make a graph, and look at the effect of time to expiry on each of the Greeks, or on the options price, for example. Yeah. I can also export the data here. Let's say I make in sheet 3. And I paste, and here is the result of the scan. So the 3D graph values that you've seen before are here. The last thing, we can look at the 3D graph as a flat 3D, which can be a little more difficult to understand at first, but which is quite a rich way to show 3D graphs. That was it. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy using Excel Mixer Pro, and we're waiting for your comments. Bye bye.